Michael's life was nothing special until one book changed it all. He was just like you, stuck in a cycle, unsure of his potential, and constantly questioning if he'd ever make it big. But one decision, one book, made him realize that success wasn't just for the lucky few. It was for anyone willing to change their mindset. Today, we're diving into that life-changing book, Mindset: The New Psychology of Success by Carol S. Dweck. Stick around to learn how a simple shift in how you think can transform your entire life. Hey everyone, welcome back to Book Play, the channel where we break down the most powerful books to help you unlock your full potential. If you're feeling stuck or unsure of how to move forward in life, this video is for you. But before we get into it, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're on a mission to help you level up. Now let me introduce you to Michael. Michael wasn't a failure, but he wasn't exactly thriving either. He got by, did what he had to do, and lived a pretty average life. If you ask him now, he'll tell you that the version of himself back then was like a car stuck in neutral, going nowhere. But Michael's turning point happened the day a friend told him about this book called Mindset. Michael didn't expect much. He thought, oh, another one of those be positive and everything will work out books. But something about it intrigued him. Maybe it was the promise of a simple shift in thinking that could lead to real change. Little did he know, this book would shatter his beliefs about success, growth, and even his own limitations. Takeaway number 1: the power of a growth mindset. As Michael started reading, he came across the first big concept that would change everything: the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. At first, Michael didn't think he had a fixed mindset. He wasn't a close-minded person, but when he dug deeper into what the fixed mindset really meant, everything clicked. People with a fixed mindset believe that their abilities and intelligence are static, that you're either born smart or you're not. That's it. No changing it. Michael realized he had been living this way. He believed that his intelligence was limited, that his natural talents were enough, and if something didn't come easily to him, it just wasn't meant to be. But the concept of a growth mindset was a game changer. Carol Dweck argues that talent isn't the key to success. Effort is. With a growth mindset, you believe that with time, practice, and learning, you can improve at anything. Michael was like, wait, so I've been holding myself back by believing I'm just not good enough? Yep. He started asking himself questions like, if I can grow and learn, what's stopping me from becoming better at anything I want? Instead of thinking, I'm not good at this, he started thinking, I'm not good at this yet. That small change in language transformed his approach to challenges. Lesson number 1: success isn't determined by how talented you are. It's about how much you're willing to grow, learn, and evolve. And that's within your control. Takeaway 2: the role of effort. Okay. So now Michael was starting to see the light. He realized it wasn't about talent, but effort. But here's the kicker. He wasn't exactly a fan of hard work. You know that feeling when you put in a ton of effort and it still feels like you're getting nowhere? Michael was very familiar with that. The book helped him understand that effort isn't just something you need when you lack talent. Effort is what makes you better, even when you already have talent. Dweck explains that people with a growth mindset embrace effort. It's not something to shy away from, it's the fuel that powers success. Imagine Michael's shock when he realized that all those times he tried something and failed were actually opportunities for him to grow, not signs that he wasn't good enough. Lesson number 2: effort is what leads to success. It's not about raw talent, it's about persistence and the willingness to try again and again until you get it right. Takeaway number 3: overcoming setbacks. Now, here's where it gets tough. Because we all know failure stings. Michael, like most of us, hated failing. And there's this little voice that comes up after a failure saying things like, "See, I told you you're not good enough." That voice? It's the fixed mindset creeping in. The first major setback for Michael came when he didn't get the promotion he worked so hard for. He felt crushed. He thought, "I've done everything right. Why didn't this work out?" But here's where the magic of mindset kicked in. Michael took a step back and remembered what he'd learned. Failure isn't the end. Failure is just a part of the journey. Dweck talks about how people with a growth mindset embrace failure and use it as feedback. Instead of thinking, "I'm not good enough for this job," Michael asked, "What can I learn from this?" Suddenly, setbacks didn't feel like a reflection of his worth. They felt like stepping stones to something better. Lesson number 3. Setbacks aren't the end. They're just part of the process. The real question is, what are you going to do after you fall? Look, I get it. Failures suck. If I could wave a magic wand and make failure go away forever, trust me, I'd be first in line to get one. But guess what? Failure doesn't have to be this big, scary monster. It's more like an annoying cousin who shows up uninvited. Sometimes you just have to deal with them, and instead of letting it crush you, why not just show it who's boss? Fail forward, right? Takeaway number 4. The power of not yet. All right, back to Michael's journey. One of the most powerful concepts in mindset is the idea of the word not yet. Instead of thinking, "I'm not good enough for this job," you can say, "I'm not good at this yet." It's simple, but it's transformative. Michael realized that he had been limiting himself by focusing only on where he was right now, instead of where he could go. In fact, he even started using the not yet mentality in other areas of his life. If something didn't work out, he'd remind himself that it wasn't permanent. Lesson number 4. Not yet is the most powerful phrase in the world. It means there's always room to grow. There's always more to achieve. And there's no deadline to your success. Takeaway number 5. Learning from criticism. Let's be honest. Who likes criticism? Nobody, right? Well, except for the people who like to pretend they don't care, but we all know those people secretly enjoy a good roast. Anyway, back to Michael. Before reading Mindset, he took criticism personally. It felt like a judgment on who he was, not just his work. But Dweck's book opened his eyes to the power of feedback. Instead of rejecting criticism, he learned to use it to improve. It wasn't about letting others tear him down. It was about learning from what they had to say. Michael began seeking feedback. What can I do better? What should I improve? And believe it or not, that made him unstoppable. Lesson number 5. Feedback and criticism are gifts. They're not about tearing you down. They're about helping you improve and grow. Takeaway number 6. The importance of persistence. And finally, persistence. The one trait that separates those who make it from those who don't. Michael learned that success is never just about talent. It's about how many times you get knocked down and how many times you get back up. In fact, Dweck talks about how it's often the people who seem the least naturally gifted who succeed because they keep going. They don't quit after the first failure, the second, or the 10th. Michael started applying this principle to his career, relationships, and personal goals. He kept pushing forward, even when it was hard, even when it felt impossible. Lesson number 6. Persistence beats talent. It beats intelligence. It beats everything else. Because if you don't quit, eventually you'll get there. So, let's circle back to Michael. He went from feeling stuck and unsure to feeling empowered. He shifted from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. He embraced failure, learned from feedback, and persisted through the tough times. Now, Michael isn't perfect, and he still faces challenges, but he approaches them differently. He's no longer afraid of failure. Instead, he sees it as part of his journey. If you want to be like Michael, if you want to unlock your full potential, It's time to change your mindset. Start believing that you can grow, learn, and overcome anything that comes your way. What would change if you adopted a growth mindset today? What's one area in your life where you've been holding yourself back with a fixed mindset? Let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a chance to level up your life with more powerful book lessons. Thanks for watching Book Play. See you in the next video.